Hi everyone, got myself a new set of watercolors. This is a Paul Rubens, a 5th generation artist level solid watercolor pigments, and I just had to do something with it, and I've already swatched it, although it comes with this I don't know, a template to swatch your colors. I've done my own. It comes like this in this box, and here it is. Each one was with a wrap that I took out, put on this watercolor paper, and I swatched it just because that's how I like to work. Maybe I will use this also and swatch each color. I'll just demonstrate it. So this is a new kit for me. I also got myself some sorry, Paul Rubens watercolors, and if you want to swatch if it's something that interests you, and I'm using watercolor brushes, soft watercolor brushes, and basically I believe that any soft brush can work nicely, but if you have watercolor brushes, then that's the best. So you can just take your brush with a little bit of water and go in and swatch very easily each color. I'm going like this so I can see how each color is gradient, and how to say it, how the transparency works for each color. And then I'm going for another color after I've cleaned off my brush in the jar of water that I have here, and again I'll just go like this. So that's another way to swatch any set of watercolors that you have, up to you. So that's what I've got, and I've got here the watercolor papers. Very nice package, and this has like a little bit of shimmer to each page. I'm hoping to each paper. I hope that you can see it. I really like it. I'm going to demonstrate this foolproof watercolor technique. This is a technique that you can use for backgrounds, masterboards, and whatever you want. I'm going to show you just 2 examples, and we are going to do so many others. These are just 2 examples of what you can do, and this only needs watercolors and stencils. This is the stencil that I've used here. It can be a background to an original page. It can be, I can take it and make bookmarks, ATC cards, whatever I want, I can do with it. And here is the other stencil that I used here. Again, can be used as any kind of collage paper or background or masterboard, whatever you want. So these are the 2 examples that I already made, and I've picked out some stencils that I have. Now I find that the techniques this technique works best with stencils that have large openings in them. It will be a little bit difficult with small details, but it really doesn't matter. As I said, it's foolproof. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be afraid of watercolors. So these are the stencils that I've got here that I want to show you how we can use them. Here we go. That's the stencils that I've picked out, and I'm going to do several. Now I find that this technique also works on thick paper, like for any kind of painting. It doesn't have to be on watercolors, watercolor paper. It can be on papers that are, I will go with 240 gram and more. You can even try on 180, but up to you and what you have. I want to, I haven't tried it yet. I want to try it on thinner paper and see what it gives me. But right now, that's what we are going to work on. And let's see. I'm going to start with this. And it's better to have something solid underneath, because when you're finished, you want to lift it up and take it aside. The only downside of this technique is the amount of time that you need to wait for everything to dry. So I'm just picking a placement for what I want on my page. Let's see, what do I want? Let's see, yeah, that's what I want to have on my page. And I'm going to take a brush, a soft brush, as I said, because this kind of brush is going to load the water and the pigment. And a brush like this will not do the same thing. It's not soft enough. It doesn't have the capability to load the watercolor in. So let's see, what colors do I want for this cogs? I'm just going to have fun with it. Now, before I'm going to start, here is another tip before I forget. First of all, it's going to use a lot of water, and once you're putting a lot of water on one side, the paper will buckle and will be something like that. Not all paper is, and it depends on the quality of the paper, but I find that if I'm spraying my paper underneath and putting it down, I'm counteracting what is going to be on top. And as you can see, because right now there is only water underneath, it already starting to lift up here. And now I'm going to put lots of water here. I'm generous with it, and it's settling down. And now I'm putting down my stencil. The water is going to create an effect like a vacuum. So now it's flat, and it can't move on the page. I'm trying to move it. You can't move it. It's stuck on the page. Now is the time to play with the watercolors. Just pick the colors that you want and start playing, and be generous. A lot of water each time on your brush, and just go to town. Have fun with this. Let them mix, okay? And go all over. The more is better here, okay? The more you put down, the better the result. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid. As I said, this is a foolproof. I'm just changing up the colors as I go, having fun with it. I want all kinds of shades here. And as you can see, with the water is I'm not sure if you can see, but I can see it. The water is going down underneath the stencil, and that's what we want. So that's why you just go and do whatever you want, and don't be afraid. And sometimes if an area I started here and it looks faded, you just go back in and you add more until you are satisfied with what you have. As I said, here more is better. Okay, so you can really have fun with it. And as I said, just go to town. Don't be afraid to lay down lots and lots of water and pigment. Okay, so now I'm using just 3 colors, and if you are interested, I'm using earth yellow, I would call it ochre, burnt sienna, and Venetian red. I would call it burnt umber, but to each his own. Okay, let's see more here. Almost forgot this corner, and the noise in the back is still the awful pigeons. I'm hoping to get someone to deal with it in a few days, I hope. Okay, so as you can see, just spreading it out, don't care. Now, again, if I feel an area is too faded, I can always go back in and add more. Another thing you can do is take your spray and go to town again. Just spray away and let everything spread. Okay, so this is just one way to go about it. There is another way, and now what we are doing is just lifting this and taking it aside. So that's one. And let's take another paper, and I'm going to try this one. And let's take another thing to put under, and I'm going to show you another variation of the same technique. Okay, so I've got this I don't know what to call it, brick stencil. Again, putting some water underneath, putting lots of water on top, and now the stencil is going to stick to the paper, and sometimes I even spray it a little bit more on top. Okay, cleaning my brush here. This is just a baby wipe, and let's see, I'm going to take a little bit of the black, but I'm putting it so it would look more of a gray. Once again, not caring, just spreading it. If you want a more concentrated look when you work with watercolors, it's you can take your spray and directly put it on the color that you are going to use. Okay, here we go. Just better to pick up the pigment. Okay, now I want some blue. Again, don't care where it's going, having fun with it, letting it mix. What else? Let's take some purple. I don't know why, I just feel like it and I'm having fun doing it. letting it mix. I've got a lot of pigment or watercolor on top of the stencil in the areas that are covered, so I can always just take it from the stencil and spread it. Again, you can't fail in this. This is anyone can do it. Again, if it's too faded, I can go in and add where I want to. Now this technique also works with sprays, so you can do that if you don't have any watercolors. Up to you. I'm just picking another blue because I think it would be interesting. So one little variation to this technique, if I just want a hint of another color on top, let's go crazy just so you can see what I'm talking about, and I really don't care about how it turns out. I'm taking some, I don't know, magenta for that matter, with a lot of water, and while it's still wet, I'm just splattering it and letting it spread, you see? So that's another variation for this technique, and I'm taking this aside. One more, and now we are going to do another variation to this technique. I'm just taking all kinds of all sizes of cutting mats that I have to put my paper on. So again, a little bit of water underneath. I put it here, so I will have room for another one. Lots of water here, and let's take this stencil, sticking to the page, a little bit more of water on top, and let's go to town with greens and blues. Okay, I'm just hoping that I'm in frame and you can see what I'm doing. Don't care, spreading, told you. Foolproof. Let the water do its thing. All kinds of colors of blues and greens. Although I'm letting the colors mix on the page, I'm cleaning my brush in between the colors so I won't contaminate each color. Just having fun with it. Let's see, more blue. And I'm also going to show you one layout technique for watercolors. Again, foolproof, anyone can do it. You just again let the water do its thing without even a stencil. Let's see, let's take for some of this blue. I don't care even that my brush went a little bit under the stencil. Who cares? and I'm working fast, especially that it's a hot day and everything just dries fast, because I want to show you what I'm going to do while it's still wet. This is another variation of this technique. So now you need coarse salt, not the fine salt, and you just spread it on your page. And again, you can take your spray and spray it a little bit, and this is another way to go about it. Taking another paper, putting water underneath, putting spray on top, and what did I want to do? Okay, let's see. I've got these two stencils. Let's see if they fit here. Good enough. Okay, and even in this I can also go in, just so you can see that you can combine two ways of making this. I can go in, take another color with lots of water, and again go in and splatter like this. Okay, so you can also combine two techniques. Okay, let's see. So now up till now I just put randomly the paints on my page, paper, whatever, and you can also partly control it. If I want this flower to be red, for that matter, then I will go and do this. Okay, and then I will go and do the rest with, let's say, greens. Okay, so so you can decide where each color goes, up to you. Okay, you can have fun with it, or you can design it to go wherever you want. Completely up to you. You can do, again, two colors on each opening in the stencil. You can do one color, whatever you like. And as you can see, it's starting to spread underneath. I can also again spray it a little bit, and I will even help it along. Now, most of the time I don't like to do this kind of layout, but I just wanted to show you how it looks, and I will probably use it to create some kind of an embellishment to a page in my journal, like a strip on the side. So this is another way to go about it. Now, if you want to mix colors that are that if they are mixing, you will create mud. Like if I will take greens and oranges and red, I will create mud. Then what you do is you put down, let's say, the greens first, if it's really important to you, which I don't, I'm sorry, but if you do want to do something like that, then you wait for one group of coloring to dry, and then you add the other one. So if I wanted to to add some orange here, I will have to wait for the greens to dry and then put them next. So I won't create this mud looking color in between. Okay, right now I'm just going to put down some greens here. I don't have enough color, enough water. And once again, I'm just playing. So you can see how foolproof this is. And what kind of results you can get from this. You see, I'm just putting down drops of paint and letting the water spread when you don't care of the outcome, and let the water do its thing. That's the best you can hope for with this. Okay, so let's move this. One more foolproof technique for a layout on a page. Okay, and some kind of controlling the watercolors. So I've done this a lot of time, and I wanted to share it with you. It's so easy. I'm using a pencil just so you can see. The layout that I like to do is something like that. Okay, now if you really want to control the water, then you take a brush with water and you put water inside the lines. Okay, so when you are going to add your paint, it will go where the water is on the page. Okay, that's the way to control your watercolor placement. So now I can take this and just let it do its thing. And sometimes it takes more water, but just be patient. You can always help it along and spray just a little bit more, but then it will spread more. So it's up to you to decide what you want to achieve. But here I go, and I'm just adding a little bit more. And I can also go again like this and make sure I have water so it can spread. Now, if you like this perfect line, let it be. If you like it to be more organic, what I like to do, and first I will just add a little bit more paint. What I like to do is spray and again let the water do its thing, and it looks more organic this way. But that's just me, that's how I like it. Just letting this do its thing. Okay, and sometimes when I'm doing this kind of layout, I like to pick a color that again I'm going to splatter. Let's take some of the yellow. Some of it is going to be here and some of it on the outside. But again, up to you. Not everyone likes this kind of layout or this spreading of paint. And for me, this is the background that will be for an art journal page. I'm not going to do anything with it. This is the background. Of course, if you want to, you can add stamping or stenciling, but now I will just use it as a background. I think I have some something similar to show you here. This is one way that I went about spreading watercolors. Here I picked all the spreading with a black permanent marker. That's one way to go about it. And I think I have another one that I've done more, let's say, freely. I'm just looking for it. Let's see. Where did I? Here is another example of this layout. Again, just let the water do its thing and pick some focal point for to add to it. Okay, so this is it, and now everything needs to dry. I have 3 more stencil that I haven't used, but I don't have any more to add to this technique, so I'm just going to let everything dry and then I'll come back. Okay, so waited a long time for everything to get dry, and when I've waited, I've already attached this one that I've done before the video, and another one just so you can see how it works in the art journal. I'm already planning on using the same stencil here and continuing building the layers. Here I'm not sure yet what I want to do, so just wanted you to see these two inside an art journals. And here are the things that we've done, and let's see. So here is the first one that I've done with this stencil. And before you clean your stencil, I have another idea how to use all this watercolor that dried on top of the stencil, so I'm leaving it right now as is. So this is the first one we've done. I believe this one was the second with the brick stencil. Here is the stencil that I showed you, and let's just put it inside because I really wanted to show you how all this, let's call it painty papers, backgrounds, or whatever can be utilized. So I'm just putting the stencil here in the art journal, and here is, this was this stencil. Now, as you can see, I've got white here. I personally love it. If you don't like it, you can go back to the watercolors and just fill in. I'm going to leave it be. I'm even thinking of using this in an art journal page, but not the whole of it. I'm thinking taking part of it, maybe tearing it apart. Let's put it inside this journal and we'll see. Again, I'm not washing this. I want to keep it and see where it gets me. I haven't got yet an idea what to do with this. I really love it, but I'm not sure yet where this is going, so it's just going to the bin of other collage painty papers. Here is this one with the salt. Now I've got some salt on top of my stencil, so I'm just scraping it like this and removing it. Now I've got some more salt directly on my paper. Again, just removing it with my hand, nothing to it, and you just get more textured look when you use the salt. Again, there are white spaces. If you want, you can fill them. If you want, you can just use it as a masterboard. You can take out and make bookmarks, ATCs, whatever you want. You can do anything that you do with any other painty paper, collage paper. Already have an idea for this one. I've already got a focal point for this one. Here it is. This is one of my drawings, only printed on a dictionary page. I just put a dictionary page inside my printer and printed this drawing that I made some time ago. I'm always keeping copies on my computer, so I can always use them again. Another thing, if I like something like that, I will photocopy it or scan it for that matter, and I can have more like this to use in other projects. So just another thing to do. So this one will probably be with this. And let's see what else. I've got the salt here, and here is this too. Now I know it doesn't look like much, but bear with me. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this too. So I'm removing this, and because I had a lot of time to wait for everything to dry, I've made two other used these two stencils and made these two, and so I've got something else to play with. And here is the layout that we've done. I've only added a little bit more dark color here and just played with the water and let them well, do its thing. That's it. And for that, I've already got an idea for a focal point. That's what is going on this page. And this, again, this is with watercolors. It's the easiest thing you have ever done. Again, no need to be an expert on watercolors. I've shown this technique in two other videos quite recently, but I'm going to show it again. So this is what's going to be. This is that's the layout, the background. This is going to be the focal point. Maybe, I'm not sure yet, I'm going to stamp on the background with black, just so I will have something that will connect this focal point with the rest. And here is for the demonstration. Very easy. Once again, you just take a stencil, here it is, on watercolor paper. You trace it with a pencil so you will know what is going on, and then you start what I call connecting the dots, because a stencil is built out of sections that are separated, and now it's up to you to connect everything again. So that's the gist of it. And when I'm sure how it's going to look, I'm taking a very simple black marker with a fine point, and I like wobbly lines. As you can see, you can do whatever you like, and what I do is I'm just going very freely with that wobbly line and creating the focal point. Okay, very easy. Nothing is precise. I don't like it. I really like this a very loose way to do things, but you can take it any other way that you feel it should be. You see, I'm really not even too much following the stencil for that matter. So it's really loose and very easy to do. Once I'm finished, then I'm taking an eraser and getting rid of all the pencil lines like here. And now all you have to do is again play with the watercolors. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to know anything about watercolors techniques. You just need to decide of the colors that you want. So I'm taking a brush and I'm thinking purple, and I don't know, let's start with some purple. I like to pick at least 3 colors, and I'm just laying it down. I prefer to put darker color underneath each on each segment or each object or shape, whatever you want to call it, and then take something lighter color like this, and when it's still wet, putting it on again. This is again loose. I'm not trying to color the whole thing. I'm letting some of the white show, but that's again my personal preference, and you can do something that is more precise and fits what you like. Okay, so that's how I'm going about it, and it can be 2 colors, it can be more. Maybe I will add a hint of another color as I go. I'm not sure yet, so I'm just putting it in. The only downside for this is that you need to fussy cut it later on. That's the only thing that I don't like, but what can I say? That's the only way, not the only way, but that's how I like nowadays to make some focal points. It doesn't have to be that way. There are all kinds of ways to make focal point, but that's a very easy way to make something, a focal point from a stencil, and make it look more of a personalized version of that stencil for that matter. Okay, so let's see, I'm just going to continue doing this. I'm going to cut this out because I'm thinking this should probably go on the background of the bricks that I've done. So I will already have a background, and now I will have some focal point to put on. You can go lightly, you can go more concentrated paint. It's really up to you. You can even color with felt pens. This is just my way to go about it. I'm not careful to stay in the lines or anything, just having fun with it. Let's see, I'm just going with another. It almost looks like the same color, but it's not, and going and doing this. I can also, again, I can switch mediums and go in and with a felt pen, as I said, or any kind of other marker for that matter. You don't have to do the whole thing with watercolors. You use what you have, and you use what's comfortable to you and what you like. Just added a little bit of purple, just so it won't be one solid color. That's it, very simple. I didn't do anything special here. I'm just thinking that maybe I will add, I don't know why, but I'm going to add a little bit of a orange here. I just feel like it. I don't know, maybe it reminds me of a, what you call it, forgot the name, a sunset. Almost said sundown instead of sunset. Yeah, a hint of orange, just for some kind of a highlight. Of course, this needs to be dry before I'm fussy cutting it, but I will already take it out of here just so it would be easier. And this will go on, where did I put it? Here, on this. That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'll change my mind and do something else. So here it is. Now let's see where now we've got the stencils with all this gorgeous color on top of it. So what I'm thinking is to take some either tissue paper or a deli paper. In my case, deli paper means sandwich paper, because in this country deli paper is wax in both sides and you can't do anything about it. I'm just putting down one underneath just so I won't make a mess, and I'm going to spray this, and let's see if I can get something interesting. Once again, deli paper, squishing, and because it's here I wasn't too careful, I already tore the page, but I'm going to leave it be, and I'm hoping it will pick up all this yummy paint, and I will have one more painty paper to play with, and I'm removing it to get dry. Let's see, one other, let's try printer paper for that matter. I'm taking printer paper. Here we go. I've got one here. I've got this one, and spraying it, and we'll see if I will get something. I just think it can be, if it will work, it can be beautiful as a collage paper. I really hope it will work and pick up all this paint. I can already see some of it. Let's try and see. No, I'll leave it for a little bit. I'll leave it a little bit to see what happens. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do with these two. These I'm not too keen on doing the same thing, so I'll just take them and, well, wash them a little bit. So moving this aside, and here we go. Next thing I wanted to show you, the same thing I've shown you how to do this focal point. Here I can, again, I can leave it as is and use it. I can see myself going like this and putting it on a page, so it can be left like this, or I can, again, this one the same, or I can go and make it into a focal point, again with the same technique, very loose with the marker, like so, tracing around the shapes and connecting them, and then I will have to fussy cut it. Again, up to you what you want to achieve. I can do this also and still use it. I'm thinking I'm going to cut this here. Yeah, and let's move this for right now, and maybe instead of black I'll go with, I'm looking for gold. Let's see, this could be nice. Don't know how much of it you can see. Sadly, metallics just don't show quite good on a video. I've got another marker, maybe it will be better. This is this Uniball Signo, a gold marker, and once again I'm going around very freely. Now you decide what you like. If you like it precise or if you like it more wobbly. I'm also thinking maybe some lines like so. And going around again with the wobbly line, so it won't be perfect. I so love vines. They are so elegant. Here we go. Again, if I'm deciding that some of the white doesn't fit me, I can always go back in with the watercolors and add where I want it. So this is not the end. You can do all kinds of more stuff to it. The main just lost the words. I didn't go with a wobbly line around it, the main stem, for whatever. I just didn't feel like it was needed. I like it more on the leaves. It makes them look a little bit more organic. But again, that's just me. Here we go. And I can already imagine a page with this. Maybe in this journal, like, yeah, probably in this one. And I don't know what the rest of it will be. Maybe even on just on the craft paper. I want to tear it some, and what I'm thinking is to go around where I want it to tear. I'm going to help it along. I'm taking a stylus or anything that is a little bit sharp but won't cut the page completely. So I'm making an indentation and hoping that this will help me tear this a little bit more easily without damaging, because I don't want to have straight edges. I don't want to use here a scissors. I want it again very rough, and I'm taking some of the background and leaving some of it. So it's a little bit difficult. I'm trying to go in between, not a straight line, but still with some rough edges. So I have a piece here that I want to take out, but I'm leaving it for the end. Right now I'm more going with this. I'm trying to get, as I said, on the inside, and hoping it will help me do what I'm after. Here we go. It does help a little bit, but still I need, because it's very thick paper. It's a really good paper. So some guidance is needed in tearing it. Okay. Okay. Starting to take shape. It does help. Yeah, I like this rough edges, and of course if I don't like too much of the white I can take this out, but I'm thinking that if it really bothers me I will just go in either with the watercolors or with an ink pad to darken the edges. What I really wanted to do, as I said, is just have rough edges to this. That was the main thing I wanted. I'm not even, don't even know where this is going. I don't have a plan for the rest of the page. I just know where I want to place this piece. Yeah, this piece is going like that. Definitely. Rest of the page will have to wait for a later date. As you can see, I'm already having a few pages in the works just from this session with the watercolors. So here this is, and again, so this one, maybe I'll put it inside this. Now I can, as you can see, this page is larger. I can take it to my advantage. I can trim this one even smaller, make it more lost for words. I can trim this and I can leave it as a frame. I can also do other stuff like stamping in between, and I think that's what I'm going to do. But what I am thinking is that I like these rough edges. I like that it doesn't match. So I'm going to glue this as is, just going to put some glue in the back. Here we go. Very easy and quick. Yeah. So that's here. And I'm going to reach for I've got some seashell stamps that I'm thinking of using here. Let's hope it will work and that it will look nice. Let's see, where did I put it? Seashell. I'm looking for it. Bear with me. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm thinking, let's see, maybe I'm taking this nautical blue Memento ink pad with this set, and let's see, I want to stamp all around, or at least mostly around all this painty paper. But what I want to do is that it will get outside the box, for that matter, and I need to press on hard because I've got a difference in heights between the two pages, so I need to put some pressure, yeah, like this. So it does work, and my idea is working. It's so nice when things go my way. Pressing it, yeah. Let's do another one. Here we go, just pressing it. Yes. Let's take another one. Maybe this one. Definitely. Oh, I'm liking it. They can also overlap. They don't have to be next to each other. Yeah. And definitely. I'm just switching so I will have more interest here. And just playing with the shapes. So here it's a little bit tricky because I have the spiral binding, so I'm just going to take this out and press it like this with my fingers. Yeah. Let's do another one. Yeah. Let's see. Just so. Oh, I'm liking it. Maybe just a little bit more stamping. Let's take this seashell and putting it here, and another one. No. Once again, I've got the spiral binding in my way. Good enough. Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to go all around. Maybe. Let's do another one. The pigeons are driving me crazy. No. I don't know. Yeah. And I feel like I need another one here. I don't want the whole frame, but I really feel like I need another one here. I'm just taking this one and yeah, that's it. Of course, now I just need this to be glued to my page, and that's it. That's one art journal page that is done. I'm just going to put some glue here very fast. It's just dictionary page, so it doesn't need anything special. And here we are. Okay, so that's one's done, and let's see. I just put some, because I've put some very freely glue here, I'm just putting this parchment paper here, and bear with me if you like. I'm going to tear this yeah, and I'm thinking of going like this, so it won't be stark white, the edges. Don't like it. I could probably have used also the watercolors. And I'm thinking it goes here. Yeah. Not sure if I want this one here or not. This one goes here, and then I'm thinking of this, but I'm not sure. So I'm just wanting to show you how you can do all kinds of stuff with this, with all these papers that we've done. Here, what I wanted to show you is, after I'm done with it, of course I could do the same thing with what I've done with the papers, to spray it with water. And here is it's still wet, so not much to see here, and the daily paper is, or sandwich paper, is still completely wet, so I can't show you anything. But here, what I wanted to show you, another way to go about this background is, now I'm going to use again the stencil, only now I'm going to, this is going to be like a shadow or something in the background. what I'm going to do now is move it. Take this is Forest Moss Distress ink, and now I can go in and do this and start building layers of the same thing. Like so. Now on top of it I'm going to do another layer. This is just the beginning. Okay, almost done. I'm not doing the bird that I have here. It doesn't matter in the scheme of things. Okay, just one more, and I can even flip it and do a little bit more if I feel I need a little bit here. You see? And now I can take another color. I can go with this pine needle, and I'm thinking some dark blue. Let's see. I've got a chipped sapphire, and no, I need the blue with the blue, the green with the green. Okay, I'm gonna start with the green, and I'm thinking again, I just moved it to another area. I'm not doing all of it with the same color. I want to add the blue also. So just sections I'm doing with this color, and now I'm switching to the dark blue, just so it would be more interesting. Okay, more here. So just building up the layers, okay? And I'm already starting to really like this. So, and I can create another area with another section of this like that. And more like that, until I get what I like. And it can be left like this, and I can decide that I need like a bird as a focal point, or butterflies for that matter. So it's really up to you what you want to do with this kind of a page. Yeah, just a little bit more. You see, I'm just playing with sections of the same stencil. I'm loving it. Right now I'm leaving it as is, and maybe, you know what, I'm going to do here the bird. Watch the birdie. Okay, I'm in love with this page. Very soft, very subtle. I love it. So here is another example for the same thing, and we'll see how the rest is going. And if I finish all the others, I will show you in my next video. This one I can use as greeting cards. I can use it as a focal point. So many uses for the same thing. It just, I love it how it turned out. So I hope I covered everything that I wanted to go with you with watercolors. And thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments down below. I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.